Tonight, the SMA's Hall of Fame inducts a song, an album, and an artist. Siri Grammys now in full swing with performances announced. Razzies award worst releases. Moonchild takes a break from music, but she'll be joining us later on the program. And Keith retires and to release an extended play. Catch him later on the program. Good evening, I'm Rain. On our broadcast tonight, the SMA's Hall of Fame inducts a song, an album, and an artist. Here's Snowy for tonight's top story.
After the Siri Music Awards dissolved its remaining assets, it was turned into a Hall of Fame, celebrating the success of an artist, a song, and an album artistically. Tonight after this show, a red carpet will be happening. Hosted by Annika via Discord while being simulcasted on TSB-ENC's YouTube channel and Twitter. There were no nominees as there are only winners. The chosen winners will have an exclusive plaque on the Siri Music Awards building. That's the latest here, Rain. Snowy TSB-ENC News.
The Siri Grammys now in full swing as they announce performers. Those include artists like Kevin, Cole, Russ, Keith, Moonchild, and more. You can watch that live here on this channel at April 30th. The Siri Razzies happened a few days ago and they awarded the worst and underwhelming releases. Here's Lucas for the full story.
The Siri Razzies happened 2 days ago. The event was spearheaded by Siri music icon Fern and was organized by former Watermelon member Paula. And TSB-ENC's very own Rain. Jay and Annika got 4 wins, making them the most awarded of the night. Lucas, TSB-ENC News.
Keith retires from Siri Music. We'll get a comment from Keith himself right now. Hey Keith, good evening. Good to see you again, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing pretty well. Life is good and I'm grateful.
You've recently released a retirement statement making your retirement official. Why did you decide to do so?
Thanks for asking me. You know, it really takes a person to find that one push to do something they've been thinking about. That's what happened to me. Little things just keeps building and building up until I reached my breaking point. But honestly, I'm glad I did retire, because I'm able to do my work here in real life.
This is very much out of place, but is there any projects or songs we haven't heard from you yet and it's still in the vault?
Yes. 4 songs, to be exact. One is a collab and another one is supposed to be a collab, but I haven't asked the person I want to collaborate with because of my retirement. Those 4 songs are still very unpolished, that's why the public probably will never hear it ever again.
Thank you for joining us today, Keith. Have a good night. Coming up, Moonchild talks about winning big at the SMAs. The news tonight returns after the break. Joining us now is reigning entertainer and artist of the year at the SMAs. The one and only Moonchild. Hello Moonchild, good evening, thanks for joining me again on the show. How are you?
Hi guys, I'm so excited to be here again. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm doing great, so thank you so much for asking.
You recently won Entertainer, Artist, Album, and Song of the Year at the SMAs. How do you feel about this?
Um, it's a really mind-blowing thing to be honored in that way because 10 albums in my career, I haven't won Artist of the Year or Artist of the Month ever. And so to be honored that way, 10 albums later feels so rewarding. And honestly, Song of the Year was a shock to me as well. And I know a lot of people were shocked about the Song of the Year winner, and me included. But I'm just so honored to have Empire, recognized that way because that song means a lot to me because it kind of tells the people not to mess with me because I've been here for a while. I'm not trying to brag, but I worked my ass off, and to write that song just felt very validating to me. And winning Entertainer of the Year was so crazy because I really thought that the Entertainer of the Year would be contacted before the show, and I didn't get any DMs, so it was really nerve-wracking for me. And when they announced that I won, just felt really, really good. So I'm really, really thankful about it.
Sweetheart is an incredible album, and I wanted to ask you, why did you want to go in such direction in terms of artistry?
Thank you so much for saying that. That means a lot to me. Sweetheart is my favorite album by far, and I'm so glad that people decided to accept it and to value the songs that I wrote on the album. Writing Sweetheart and making this album just felt very, very therapeutic for me, and going into making this album felt really scary because I haven't been honest with my journey and with my feelings as a trans woman, and I just feel like I'm in the time in my life where I can't deny that that side of my life anymore. And I have these inner monologues and inner demons trying to nag at me about being trans, and I have to be honest, it brings out a lot of insecurities. And when I was making this album, I just wanted to find a way to tell my story in a creative way and to heal myself while making this album. Making Sweetheart healed a lot of traumas and healed a lot of inner fears that I had, because writing down my fears and my insecurities made them feel real and tangible. And when you make your fears tangible and real, you have solutions for those real things. So I'm just so glad that people accepted Sweetheart and named it, the best album of all time. So it's crazy to have my fears and my story honored that way. So thank you so much for loving Sweetheart that way, because Sweetheart will always be my baby, no matter what happens.
What was the headspace that you went through on that album? Reliving through those moments in your life must be hard.
I think my headspace while making Sweetheart was both fear and love at the same time, because I've never been this honest before on an album. I would always talk about love and my experiences and life, but never as specific as being a trans woman. And even though this album talks about my trans journey, it's still very applicable to a lot of things. For example, Manufactured isn't just about me as a trans woman who underwent a lot of transformations to get to where I am now. It could also be about women who go through a lot of changes that they don't even want but are pushed upon them because of society. Sometimes women don't have a choice but to be pretty and change themselves for society. And I feel like that's one of the biggest thought in my head while making Sweetheart, the unfairness of all the things women have to face. And so I was really passionate about writing this album, and I took my time on the songs that I wrote because I wanted this album to convey a very specific message about inequality, about trans women, and about just women in general. So I'm so glad that people liked it.
Thank you for joining us today, Moonchild.
You guys, thank you so much for having me. I always have such an amazing time here, and you guys are so welcoming, and I'm so glad to be here again. So thank you so much.
Of course, anytime, don't mention it. And that is it for the news tonight, the 15th of April. I am Rain, and the SMA's Hall of Fame Red Carpet podcast is next.